Dick, we're seeing the Australian dollar rise further and further, particularly as our currency becomes equated with gold. How many jobs do you think are at risk in manufacturing?
The dollar now it would appear almost to be a structural change rather than a cyclical change. Whether it be structural or cyclical, it doesn't really matter. It's what we've got. It's created one extra burden to what we always had before, and that was high labour costs versus the lower labour costs overseas. And all I say in manufacturing generally, and we tend at the moment to be focusing on the car industry, I'd rather be focusing on manufacturing as a whole. We've got to try and learn to take better advantage of the advantages we have to overcome the disadvantages we have. And there are certainly ways and means of doing that.
How many jobs do you think are at risk unless we do change? Are we talking 10,000 or 100,000?
Oh, look, if we keep going down this path, we're talking closer to 100,000, which is a real concern, because manufacturing in total, and car industry is a big part of that, is a great employer of people. And it's not just the employment of people that's important, it's the cluster businesses that come to the side of that, which probably represent something like 3 to 5 times more the employment in those side businesses of part manufacturers.
So you're talking about, if there's 100,000 in the base business, you're saying we could lose to 300,000 to 400,000 people if we mess this up?
Well, that would be disastrous. You're on the downward spiral, and it would be very, very hard to recover from that. What we've got to try and do is to stop it at this stage.
Do you agree that if we get it wrong, they're the sort of figures involved?
Oh, very much. If we get it wrong now, as I said, we'll be on a downward spiral that would be very, very hard to stop. We're not at that tipping point, if you use that term that's being thrown around a bit lately. We're not at that tipping point yet, but boy, it doesn't take long to get there if we don't correct things pretty soon.